Hi everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Welcome to the Sanders family, Lovebugs.
I almost said the thug station.
Yeah, this was our old station. It used to be called the Thug Station. So welcome back. So you might see our older videos saying the Thug Station, but we changed the name of our channel to the Sanders family. So welcome to our family, Lovebugs. This is my wonderful husband,
I'm Tony Sanders.
and
Wife.
I am Colleen Sanders. So welcome. So if this is your first time here, do hit the like, subscribe, share button and comment below. And if you're oldie but newy, for us seeing you, say hello. And if you are oldie but goodie, welcome back. So in this video, you want to start first?
Hey,
Well, we have some exciting news. Well, I guess I'll start first before my husband jumps in and we talk about what we're going to talk about with you guys as far as sharing news. Well, we're going to be talking about fertility issues and miscarriage and loss of a child in this video. Many of you may find this helpful for you. If this is not a video that interests you, you don't want to talk about infertility, and you don't see where it's going to benefit you, then we understand why this video may not be one of the ones you want to watch. It's been a minute since we've been on our channel, but we nevertheless felt that we wanted to come together and talk about the infertility issues and journey that we have embarked on in life, and what brought us to this. So I'm going to start evidently with myself, because we found out that the fertility issues lie with me. And so first and foremost, let's get to before I get to the whole miscarriage and all that stuff. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going speeding through all the pertinent information, bringing out all the major important points, so we can get to 2019. Okay. So I am a female who experienced menstrual cycle early in life. I was 10 years of age and everything was good and wonderful and all that. And then about 1 to 2 years in, I started experiencing menstrual cycle issues. Whereas my cycle would come on for days and days, heavy, and would not go off. Or sometimes I would go months, like 4, 5, 6 months without even having a cycle. So my mom took me to the OBGYN doctor. So I was around about 12, something like that at that time, because I got it when I was 10. I was around about 12 years old when I started really having some serious issues. And at first, being a kid, I was excited that I didn't have to worry about, having a cycle. I didn't realize how serious it was. I didn't realize how important it was that I should get a cycle every month. So I was kind of enjoying the fact of not getting one more so than having one. So it really didn't bother me at first. And so, but because of the issues that I had, and my mom was aware of them, of course, she took me to the OBGYN. And at that point, the OBGYN doctor at the time that I was seeing put me on birth control pills. Back then, I was put on what was called low oral birth control pills. Used to come in a little round, oval shaped, elongated pink pack back then. And of course, it was keeping my cycles pretty regular. But over time, I'll say by the time I turned 21, it just wasn't doing anything anymore. Actually before then, but it really got worse when I turned 21. It just wasn't working. And then the doctor switched me to a different type of birth control pills, and they weren't doing anything either. So basically my menstrual cycle issues spiraled out of control from there. So at 21, I wound up having an emergency C-section because my cycles came on and they would not go off. Nothing the doctor was doing would work. The birth control pill wasn't working. They were giving me other methods of treatment. Nothing was working. So I ended up having my first D&C due to the fact that I was having uncontrollable cycles. And then after having the D&C, my cycle stayed corrected for about a year or two. And then I was right back to the same thing. So I was right back on the same roller coaster of trying different methods of birth control pills. Nothing was working. And of course, by this time, I was sexually active because I was married to my first husband at that time. I never got pregnant, could not have children. Those were some of the symptoms that I was suffering from. Menstrual cycles coming on like crazy long periods of time of not coming on, and when it did come on, it didn't want to go off. So I was just having issues all over the place. So about the age of 25, it started to get a little bit better, but by that time I started having thyroid issues as well. And unbeknownst to me, I was having thyroid issues, but I didn't know it. And so it wasn't until one day my mom realized that my neck was extra large, and she asked me to have the doctor to take a look at my thyroids. Now, I had 3 tests to be ran before it actually showed an issue with my thyroids. The 3rd test came back positive. I had uncontrolled thyroids. Due to the imbalanced hormones of my cycles and all that stuff, obviously contributed to that. And so I had thyroid issues where I was starting to kind of gain weight, because I was always like a small person, but I was starting to gain weight, mostly really in my midsection, and it was unexplainable. It started making me look like I was 5 to 6 or 7 or even sometimes 8 months pregnant. And so it was just horrible. And so my doctor told me that I was going to have to get some more tests done. And so it went, after the tests and stuff were done, all the different biopsies and things I had to have to make sure I didn't have cancer, I was still having ongoing problems with my cycles at the same time. And so at this time, I was still taking birth control pill, which was a new type to try to control my cycles. So it was kind of working a little bit better. So it was helping me to have my cycles, but they were still ridiculous. And I was having a lot of PMS with it. And so my hormones were all over the place. My pH balance was totally a mess. I was just having all types of female issues. And again, I still couldn't get pregnant because I was having the issues, with my cycle, my hormones, period. So getting back to the thyroid issue, so I ended up having all the biopsy work done, so they could see if I was benign or if I had cancer. So I had multiple cysts in my neck. That's what's explaining of why my neck was sitting out so largely. And also I started suffering from hoarseness all the time. I could easily get hoarse because the thyroids had just taken over. They were hyperactive, and so therefore they was just all over the place. So that explains why I was having those uncontrolled and crazy cycles, were all unbalanced and all over the place. So I ended up having to be sent to have surgery done, of course, over after that, and to have my thyroids totally removed. Thank God I didn't have surgery, so it came back that I did not have cancer, but I had multiple cysts. It was too many for the doctor to count, so I had like this muscular neck. I was being hoarse all the time because the thyroid glands had grew so largely, and it had came from the back, because if you didn't know, all of our thyroid glands are in the back of our neck, and then whenever they bother you, most of the time they come and you bother on here, or you have it here. And all of that. So mine had came all the way around, and it grew so much till it was cutting off my wind supply. And it was by the grace of God that it didn't kill me, because they can't kill you. And so when the doctor found out, thank God, it was in time. So even though I didn't have cancer, but my thyroids were literally choking my life out of me, because they had grew around my windpipe. Excuse me. Had grew around my windpipe. And so that would explain why I was getting hoarse all the time. That was explaining why I was getting short of breath at times, because it was literally choking my life, my throat away, basically. And so it was wrapping itself around my windpipe. So he found that out once he went in to remove my thyroids. And you can't tell, but I had my thyroids removed here. I have a very little small scar, because the doctor that did it was phenomenal. He went into my neckline and he removed it. And then from then on to now, for the rest of my life, I am on the replacement for thyroids. So through the years, I kept having issues, no pregnancies, issues, even after having the thyroids removed. It was just a mess, and it just kept going through the same roller coaster cycle of the same thing, the same thing, and it's just the same thing. So it's fast forwarding. So when I met my husband, I was still having the same issues. So basically, to fast forward to more present day, and I'm having the same issues. We wanted to have children. We couldn't get pregnant. And remind you, I had been gaining weight in my midsection and was still having crazy cycles, going through the same thing, but just trying to cope and deal with it, not knowing what the situation was. Oh, let me go back. I'm going too fast. when I found out about the thyroid issues, and then I was sent to another doctor, another specialist, then he did some more tests because of my cycle issues that I was having. So after he did the test, he did all these different biopsies and things like that as well, and those came back showing that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is otherwise known commonly as PCOS, which means that I suffer from polyps and cysts over my ovaries, and makes it infertility issues, imbalanced hormones, crazy cycles, and all that type of stuff. So it's all these chemical imbalances and hormone imbalances, all this stuff messing with my hormones, messing with my fertility. So I found that I was estrogen dominant and progesterone deficiency. So I produce more estrogen than I do progesterone, and so it's hard to get pregnant. And if I get pregnant, I will most definitely need to have progesterone in order to maintain the pregnancy, typically the whole entire 9 months, because, without the progesterone, an accurate amount of progesterone, you can't get pregnant or sustain a pregnancy. So fast forward to 2012, prior to my husband and I getting engaged, I began to really take matters really into my own hand and say, look, I'm tired of living with this. I've been living with this for a long time. I've been dealing with this ever since I was a kid. I really want to step my game up, and I really want to find out what's really going on. I'm tired of spending money that I have, money I don't have, going back and forth to doctor. And by this time, my husband is in the picture, and he learned of my situation, and he was always supportive and there for me, and so we started going to different doctors together. And so it was just a long journey. It's a lot. It's a lot emotionally, physically. It's draining. And so basically, I ended up, trying to get pregnant still, thinking that if I could get on fertility drugs. My husband can tell you I've tried different types of fertility drugs. None of those worked for me. Nothing worked. Period. I did everything the doctors told me to do, still didn't get pregnant. Then before we got married, when we got engaged, I really, really wanted to. I was already working on losing weight. I was like 228 pounds, even though I didn't look like it. I was at my highest weight ever in my life. I was like 228. I began to really, really take, measurements and situations in my own hand, and started to just do something about my weight, because I thought that it would help me. And so then, of course, prior to that, though, I had already like a couple years before meeting my husband, had already found that I have diabetes as well. So that was another hormone imbalance that I deal with. So I found out that was another thing. But I know women have children healthy all the time with diabetes. And so by the 2 years after I found out I was a diabetic, I met my husband. And then it was just more to add to a list of things to deal with. So fast forward to 2012. Right after we got married, before then, I had dropped my weight from 228 down to 169. So I had been walking, eating right, doing everything I could to speed up my metabolism, and then I lost weight. 3 months after he and I was married, and this is about around the time he could jump in now, 3 months after we were married, June the 23rd of 2012, 3 months after that, I got pregnant out of nowhere. My weight was at 169, straight 169, and I was skinny, and I got pregnant like that. But unfortunately, the pregnancy did not last. I was a little over 2 months, and we went in for our first initial checkup, and they said, well, it's still too early. Isn't that what they told us? It's too early to get the heartbeat. Yeah. So they had us to come back, and I was considered high risk, so they were having me to come in kind of early, and saying getting my insurance and stuff, all that stuff together, and so we were coming in or whatever, and I had to my medicine. I had to come in quite often in the beginning of my pregnancy because. But the fact that I'm a diabetic, I was taking insulin at the time. And so the doctor that I was seeing at that time, she informed me she was going to send me to the specialist hospital because of my high risk of being a diabetic. She said that I need to be on the specialist, because 9 times out of 10 that when I got later in the pregnancy, that I wasn't going to be able to just go into labor. They probably was going to induce my labor because they didn't want me to have a risk of developing preeclampsia. So they sent us to the specialist, and everything was looking good. We were so excited and everything like that. Everything was just marvelous and just one of the best feelings in my whole entire life. And certainly I know one for my husband. So we were just excited. First time parents. This is my first pregnancy ever in my life. I was ecstatic because that sometimes in my life I kept giving kind of sort of getting in out of hope that I would ever get pregnant. And so when it happened, of course, I was excited. And of course, when it happened, I had said, prior to that, my husband and I had said that we would just keep it to ourselves. We wouldn't say anything. And then when I found out that I was pregnant, we told everybody. That went out the window because we wanted to share our news. We were so excited. And so everything started out good. You gonna jump in? Everything started off good, but things went downhill real quickly. So I think I'll let my husband kind of expound upon that part, basically.
I mean, basically, when it went downhill was, at the time that we went to the doctor and asking the doctor for information, and the doctor was standing there talking about, well, I think this and I think that and I think this, and I'm like, hold up now, you think, or are you sure? So don't be telling me what you think. Give me some facts. So and let me know what's really going on, what's really happening. So. At that time, there was no heartbeat or nothing, or anything coming up, and so I was trying to figure out what kind of, what's the best thing to do? What can we do? Or what's the next step, or whatever? And or is it too early? Or so I had a lot of different questions.
Yeah. And it was hard. It was hard. Many might say, well, it was typically hard for me being a carrier, but it was hard for both of us. I mean, my husband, hands down, I must say he's a great man. He's a great husband, and he was a great father. He was doing all he could for me and our unborn child. He was taking off his job. He was going to work. I mean, he was all over the place. And remind you, at that time, in the beginning of our marriage, his great grandmother on his side of our family, she was 103 when she passed.
Yeah.
103. She was very, very ill and sick in the hospital at that time. And so I ended up in the hospital because they were taking a very long time with my medications adjustment. And so in the beginning, pregnancy was doing pretty well. And even with the information that they were giving us, they were saying, well, just give us some more time. We'll check for a heartbeat in another week or two, and we should be okay, because my numbers, and I didn't know what they were talking about, my hormonal numbers were rising, but they were rising very slowly. So I was kind of confused on what they were talking about. But the doctor was ensuring us hope. He was like, well, don't get upset. Everything is all good. Stay like you are. You're doing all that you can. Sometimes I've seen this in pregnancies where women numbers aren't tripling, doubling in a day's time, but yours are rising. So that's a good sign. So we just give it a little bit more time. We'll give it another week or two. And so they hospitalized me so that I would have the medications that I need, because I couldn't afford to buy the individual. I had some really high expensive insulin that I was on at the time. And again, that insulin could have had to be separated. I could not take mixed insulin. For some reason, pregnant women can't take a mixed insulin, and they have to be separated. So they hospitalized me so that I could get my medicine through the hospital while they were waiting on all my insurance stuff to get straight. So everything was looking good or whatever. We was excited. It was one of the best feelings, y'all, in the world. It felt like the wind, like my eyesight, everything was just different. Like, I was looking at the world differently. I was just so excited to be a new mom in the making and everything like that. And it was just so surreal, because I never honestly thought, I didn't doubt in my heart that what's happened, but in my mind, and because every time you want to have a baby, you want to have a child, and every month it's the same thing when you're going through issues and you look at that stick or whatever you're looking at and it say negative, you're like, okay, what's going on? Depression and all that stuff. And so to get that kind of news was exciting. So we did everything that we felt in our power to do. We went from doctor to doctor to get different opinions. We didn't just take anybody's word for it. I guess you could say we was in denial of the truth, but regardless of the fact, it was in denial for a good hope that everything would turn around and work out. So ultimately, it didn't. Because I really wanted to just get through that part. It really didn't work out. Ultimately ended up going into the hospital to have a DNC, and because my body was still trying to take care of the pregnancy, and it just wasn't working out. So we never got a heartbeat. So everything was just basically stopped. And they had told me that I had what you call a missed abortion, which is basically a miscarriage, where your body is still trying to take care of the pregnancy and you're not fighting it off. So they gave me two options: to take a pill, go home, and discharge of the baby and all that stuff at home, or go ahead and have a DNC, come in and have the search. So we prayed about it. We gave it a few weeks, and because they told me that I had to go ahead and make a decision, both my husband and I, because I was getting to a danger zone of setting infections up and things like that, and would be ultimately needing blood transfusions, which I don't believe in, and neither does my husband, and that I would be fighting for my life. So we had a quick, fast decision to make. So ultimately, since we wasn't getting any more good news and everything seemed to be turning upside down for the pregnancy, we made the choice to go ahead and have the DNC. That was a very hard day. It was like a really, really bad, hard time, and it just didn't really sink in to what really was going on until after things were over with. We just kind of went off into adrenaline mode of getting things done, just like we did to stay pregnant, for our child to make it here. So it just went off into just do what you got to do. And everything didn't really hit the fan until everything was over with. So it's been a hard 8 years. It's been 8 years, a little over 8 years. Actually went into the hospital October the 31st. Found out we was pregnant. Went in on October the 1st. Went into the hospital October 31st for a DNC. Finding out that we was a little over two and a half months pregnant. And so we went into the hospital for that unfortunate event. And so it's been 8 years ago. Almost, because yes, it's still October. So at the end of this month, October the 31st, it would be exactly 8 years since we've had a miscarriage. Now, I will say this before we get off into the news that we want to share with you guys on our infertility journey and what we want to do and what's going on. I want to get through that. I thank God I made it through that, y'all, without crying. So, what else was I say, honey? Oh, so sorry, y'all. Y'all know laughter is a good medicine. So where was I at? Okay, so it's been exactly 8 years. Okay, now within the 8 year period to decide on what we're talking about that we want to tell y'all in this video, because I don't want it to be too long, because we're already like 21 some minutes in. So I want to say this real quick, that it's been a long struggle, 8 years. I want to say within those 8 years almost, though, we have been blessed. We are parents actively, because we have 3 wonderful children. We have 1 son and 2 daughters. Our son is 13 years of age. Our daughters are 12 and 11. And you might say, wow, no, well, we're their parents by the grace of God, but we did not have them biologically. They are our adoptive children. They are biological brothers and sisters. But we've been blessed. God triply blessed us, literally blessed us with our 3 children. And so we're thankful. They are 100% ours. We've been through all the legal paperwork. They wear Sanders' last name. It's been a long struggle process, which, oh my goodness, if you're interested in adoption, all I can tell you is we can't tell you how they do it in your state. We can just give you some pertinent information, but nothing really can prepare you for the whole adoption process. It's a beautiful, rewarding thing at the end, but it's a lot to go through. A lot of paperwork, a lot of visitations. Oh my goodness. But anyway, that's a whole nother day conversation video right there. But anyway, we do plan on sharing that journey with you guys as we're kind of going through everything, introducing officially once again our children. You've seen them here and there on our channel, but you will see more of them, or whatever, because this is a family channel. But anyway, in our vlogs and all that type of stuff that we're going to be doing with our kids here. But anyway, I don't want to say more than my husband. I'm trying to give him an opportunity to say, because I'll say this and then I'll let my husband have the floor. It's been a hard struggle to even think about getting pregnant again after almost 8 years. We've tried it here and there, but I'm not going to lie. I myself personally was nervous. I was excited. I was trying to most definitely hold on to my faith about, the possibilities, and knowing that, hey, just because I had 1 miscarriage doesn't mean that it's going to define how my other pregnancies are going to be, and things like that. So ultimately, we could have gotten pregnant before now if we really had focused on it. But I think both of us, hands down, was kind of nervous about the unknown situations. You don't want to gear yourself up for something to be let down. So I think it's been really hard on that aspect to make even a decision of that magnitude within your control, because it can happen at any time if you're having sex, but out of your control. But if you're wanting to plan for it, I think it's kind of a mind thing too. Your mindset, you're nervous and you're trying to not go to that negative place and relive those dark areas in your life about pregnancy. So I think that ultimately has been a downside. What is it? probably one of the kids. It's been a downside. I know a downer for me. But now that I am 43, just turned 43, August 20th of this year, 2019, I'm feeling kind of itchy. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to let my husband take over right there. I'm feeling itchy, and then we're going to announce together what we... Yeah, I'm feeling itchy. You know, I think I'm on a different level now, you know, especially after being an active mom now for, almost 3 years. Yeah. So my headspace, my spirituality is in a different place for that. So that's all I'm gonna say for right now. To my husband, say what he has.
Yeah, we had to end the video real quick. No, just well, I mean, well, there are things that we can do. You know, different things of learning. You know, that we learn so much along the way about. You know, saying how to try to reverse these things and make sure everything works smoothly and the process goes well, and at the end, you know, we will have a great reward from God. And you know, so now it's on the journey of, you know, exercising, eating healthy, getting right. So,
right,
you know,
preparation, rather.
You know,
so we've already kind of opened the bag. So y'all ready to hear the good news? The good news is we are on reverse of our infertility issues with me that we've been having journey. You know, I think that everything is a good go. I brought my weight down again. I've been having good steady levels of my sugars are controlled. I've had great reports the last few times that I've, you know, the last back-to-back check updates of my A1C levels, which have been good. My doctor has been giving me really great, you know, good numbers. She's very like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I work out more. I'm more active. I have more energy levels than I used to have some years back when I was experiencing issues. And so I've been really going in overtime, going ham, trying to, that's probably what it is, trying to increase, you know, my overall health. So I've been on a quest, and I'm going to be sharing, you know, my journey. I'm about to do some more things. I'm about to go deep down into my workout regimens, you know, so I'm basically doing two different things. I am working on my overall health, period, for myself, for healthy living, you know, even if I can't come off medication, and I'm not saying I can't, but even if God wants to use this as a testimony in my life to benefit, to help myself as well as educate others or help and motivate other people, then so be it. But I'm still going to do all that I can to stay healthy and live healthy with or without the medications, without, you know, with whatever changes happen. Now, one thing I do know, I won't get off the thyroid medication. That's a given. I'll be on that for the rest of my life because I don't have thyroids anymore. So that's one medication that I cannot get rid of. But as far as the diabetes is concerned, I know that it is a reversible disorder. So that's my goal, is to reverse it. However, if I can't reverse it to the point that I just still have to stay on medications, I know I'll be on even less medication. Like, I've already decreased my medication, and whatever goes, whatever God's plans is, I accept it. But I know that within my power, within the will that He's given to me, I want to eat healthy, work out, do the things I got to do for my overall life, you know, better benefit of while I'm here and having a healthy lifestyle. Secondly, you ready? We'll say it together. Secondly, because my husband and I, you kind of already told y'all, we want to have
10 children.
Really?
At one time.
Really? Oh, I'll be gone to meet Jesus. Oh my God.
Y'all know I'm serious.
No, seriously. On three. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. We're on a quest to increase our family size because we want to have a babies. A lot of babies. We want to have a baby. Hopefully we'll be able to have at least 2 more children. Now, if we have twins, I told my husband we're gonna be done. But but hopefully we'll have singles so we can have 2 more pregnancies, you know, besides the miscarriage that we had, and increase our family size. Now, if God want to bless us with more, then we welcome that too. But we almost definitely want to have at least 2 more times that I can get pregnant and have some children. So we are on a quest to, like I say, stay healthy, continue to do the things that I'm doing. My husband is my physical trainer. He helps me. And and also we're on a quest to we're on a journey, mission to have a baby. So we want to share our journey with you guys. We want to share, how is everything going and all that kind of stuff and all that. So look forward to us sharing different videos with you guys ongoingly, consistently here on our channel, talking about what's going on, what's going to be happening, and things like that. I will say this: we're not going to really just do those infertility type things where we're going to the doctor a lot. That's expensive. No, we're going to do all this naturally. Everything that's just like I got pregnant the first time naturally. I was taking fertility drugs and didn't get pregnant. I got pregnant on my own. I can do it again. I have faith in God. I have more than mustard seed faith in God. I know it's going to happen. All my husband got to do is do what he do, and I do what I do, and we going to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, then I had an accident years ago, when I got ran over. But I was joking.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys. This video is long enough, I think, and I think you guys get the message. We're going to be sharing more about our things, what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing things like in the morning time, I'm going to be taking my body temperatures, each month, doing my cycles. My cycles are regular, have been regular. I want to say, let me report that, have been regular. Because I'm typically anywhere from 28 to 34 to sometimes 36 days. So some might say that's irregular, but that's regular for me. So I've been getting my cycle for the last 3 or 4 years now, like clockwork. Every month I'm having cycles, and it'll stay no longer than 5 to 7 days. So I'm good. So I think, everything that my husband and I have put into my health journey has really worked for us. I think, I'm really reducing and reversing a lot of the things that I had going on with the PCOS, because the symptoms I would have were ridiculous. Low energy levels, everything that come with it, I had it. So we're going to be sharing. Like I said, I'm going to each month. I've already had my cycle for I've already had my cycle for last month. I haven't had it for this month. So it would be great if we could come back and tell y'all that, hey, our journey for getting pregnant is over because we're pregnant. Because this week coming up would be typically the week that I would normally get my cycle, around the 15th week, 15th of the month of each month. I normally get my cycle around that time, sometimes a few days after. So we're going to see. So we're going to, I'm going to be sharing though, with you guys what's going on and stuff like that. So we're going to see if, these measurements that we're doing are going to work. So hopefully it already worked. And it's going to be a short-lived video. Then we'll be coming on with a big announcement to say, hey, we got exciting news. We're pregnant. And you guys will be like, wow, tell me what you did, because that was quick. Yeah. But even if it's not, I promise I won't be disappointed, because I know it's going to happen. So patience is a virtue. Good things come to those who wait. So we're going to keep trusting in God. We're going to keep waiting, and we know it's going to happen, because it's not our plans, it's God's plans. And I know for a fact that it was already prophesied to us. God already gave my husband a vision about it, and it was already spoken to our lives already. So we know it's going to happen. We just waiting on when God's timing meets, where we are. So it's all good. So I know it's going to happen. So I'm excited about it. Are you excited?
Yeah.
So if y'all have some pointers that y'all can give to your sis and your brother, we'll take them. Your sis and your brother, I pointed to him when I said sis. Brother and sis. We'll really appreciate it. So, honey, I think this is a long enough video. It's over 33 minutes, so I think we better get off of here. So we'll come back. We're going to be coming, with more information on our fertility journey. A lot of times I'll be vlogging things. I don't want to leave my husband out, but, a lot of different things we're going to be doing that you'll see him. But a lot of the fertility vlogs mostly will be me, taking the temperatures and all that stuff. It'll be mostly me. I'll be soloing. But my husband will be there, of course. It's a support system in all ways, Because, I'm the carrier, ladies, we got to do all this stuff. He got the easy part. You know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily,
Yes, you do.
I got to get prepared, because I got to,
really?
Really?
Yeah,
Really? All this stuff,
He has the easy part of the whole journey. So he's going to be there, of course. And I thank God for him. I thank God for you, baby.
Oh, thank God for you.
But I wish we could trade places in a way, to go through all the things.
You sit over here and I sit over there.
Literally trade places, but it's gonna be a great experience. I'm excited about it. I'm excited ready to get the good news and go through all the things. It's just motivation, really. It give me extra motivation. To make sure everything. So right now, in our conclusion, like my husband said earlier, we're going through the whole preparation. Of everything that we gotta do to make sure that everything is well together for our baby. To have the best start in life and to grow and nurture inside of my womb to come and enter into this world. So that's what we're doing now. Daddy and mommy's making sure that everything is good for you, boo-boo. We're making sure everything is good for you, darling.
Yep.
So when you come here on earth with us, you look back and see that daddy and mommy gave you the best start that we could possibly give.
Yeah. Now I can stop taking my birth control pills.
Yeah, because I'm finna get him pregnant. But anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much. Honey, is there anything else you want to say before we end this? This is like a long video vlog, y'all.
I know, right?
So,
but it's all good. Y'all enjoy it, and we're going to keep y'all posted. We're going to keep coming with new material. We're going to share so many things with y'all.
And I think we said that a lot in every video that we did, but y'all, it's the truth. We've been busy. We've been busy. I'm going to say this much. We're new entrepreneurs, and we're busy. We've been so busy, but we've been to be so consistent on Facebook, YouTube, a lot of other social media websites, because I almost said YouTube, but I was thought about we are active on Facebook as well, so I might as well throw that in there. And, y'all probably gonna get sick and tired of seeing us. This how active we gonna be. So we've been missing in action. We have this channel now for 2 years, and we have had low video feed and low continuous consistency because we've been so busy. Y'all know you have to maintain your life. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But we're trying our best to be here. A lot of things was going on. We were going through our adoption situation. We were going through, just working and trying to build things up. As Tamar Braxton would say, go get your life.com, honey. That's what we were doing. We were getting our lives. And now that we're more stabilized and new homeowners and doing things like that, we're renovating our home. We're doing all types of stuff. So we have a lot of different things going on that we want to bring y'all on the journey with. But ultimately, just want to jump on here to give you guys this information. So this video is very, very long. So we finna go, y'all. We finna say see y'all later. Sayonara for now. Hope y'all share, like, comment, become a part of our Lovebug Standards family. And we love you guys. Until then, peace, love, and soul. And use your spiritual gifts that God has given to you, because why? They're yours.
Amen.
And that's it. Love you guys. Give our video a thumbs up. Come on, follow us on our infertility journey.
Y'all got to grow
y'all
some
pray
more
for
thumbs.
us. Pray for us.
Put them all up.
All right. Love you guys. See you guys later.